Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something really powerful, how digital health records are being used beyond just individual care.
Right, moving into that bigger picture.
Exactly. We've touched on things like ABHA before, where individuals control sharing for their own treatment. Well, today's mission is about something different. It's about how electronic health record data, EHR data, when it's shared anonymously, helps drive research. Big research.
Yeah, research that benefits everyone, really.
That's the idea. Exploring how this aggregated, anonymized data leads to breakthroughs helps public health, but crucially, without compromising anyone's privacy.
It's a huge shift from, the old days of paper files stuck in one clinic.
Totally siloed. Made it so hard to see the forest for the trees, right? Now EHRs open up possibilities for, secure sharing that can give us these incredible insights.
It's that move from isolated data points to a connected view, like trying to map traffic by just watching one car versus seeing the whole city's flow anonymously, of course.
That's a great analogy. So, okay, this sounds like it has massive potential. What kinds of research are really benefiting from this anonymized EHR data?
Well, one really fundamental use is just generating anonymous statistical reports. Sounds simple, maybe, but it's critical for hospitals and health systems. They use it to improve quality of care, manage resources better, like tracking, say, anonymous readmission rates for specific conditions.
Okay, so they can see patterns like, patients with X condition keep coming back within 30 days, and then figure out why.
Exactly. It helps them refine how they do things, maybe change treatment protocols or discharge planning based on that broader anonymous data.
Makes total sense. Using the data to fine-tune the system itself. And I know public health agencies must be big users too.
Oh, absolutely. Anonymous EHR data is, it's a key part of modern public health surveillance now, especially for communicable diseases.
Like tracking flu outbreaks or things like that.
Precisely. Think how fast officials need to react. Analyzing anonymous patterns in EHRs lets them spot the spread of infections, see who's most at risk, and act quickly, much faster than waiting for traditional lab reports sometimes.
Right, getting a jump on potential health crises. I think I read about something called syndromic surveillance. Is that connected?
It is, yeah, very closely. Syndromic surveillance looks for unusual spikes in symptoms reported in anonymized data, even before a diagnosis is confirmed.
So like a sudden jump in people reporting fever and cough in one area?
Exactly that. It could be an early warning sign, allows for a quick investigation, maybe containment measures, way earlier than might otherwise happen.
Wow, okay.
And this early detection piece is also vital for epidemic forecasting, trying to predict surges, prepare resources, really crucial for potential pandemics. It shifts us from just reacting to trying to proactively anticipate and lessen the impact.
That proactive angle feels incredibly important. So, okay, we've got system improvement, public health surveillance. Does this anonymous data also filter down to influence how, individual patients might eventually be treated?
It does, significantly. The patterns we see in these huge volumes of anonymized data are really pushing personalized medicine forward.
Oh, so.
Well, by analyzing data from tons of people with similar conditions, anonymously, researchers can figure out which treatments tend to work best for specific subgroups, more tailored treatments.
Okay, moving beyond the sort of one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. Plus, there are AI systems being developed now that can screen anonymous EHR data for really early, subtle signs of potential diseases. Catching things earlier generally means better outcomes.
And I heard this helps with clinical trials, too. Because getting people enrolled can be a real bottleneck, right?
A huge bottleneck. Yes, anonymized EHR data, especially when analyzed by AI, can massively speed up finding potential trial participants who fit very specific criteria.
So instead of doctors manually searching records or relying on patients seeing an advert...
Right. This automated matching finds potential candidates much faster. It cuts down the time and resources needed for recruitment, which is good for researchers and less hassle for potential participants.
And it's all done analyzing the anonymous data pool.
Yes, maintaining privacy throughout. It just makes the whole recruitment process way more efficient. And the hope is this speeds up medical discovery overall, getting new treatments out there faster.
Okay, the potential benefits seem enormous. But let's pivot to the really critical question, privacy. How is that actually protected when all this research is going on?
It's absolutely paramount, and it relies heavily on techniques like anonymization and de-identification. They're essential.
Right.
For research, the data used is typically in a securely anonymized or maybe pseudonymized form. The whole point is to make sure you absolutely cannot identify an individual from the data.
Okay, you said anonymization and de-identification. What's the difference there? They sound kind of similar.
They are related, but there's a key distinction. De-identification usually means removing or masking specific identifiers, what we call protected health information, or PHI.
Like names, addresses, phone numbers.
Exactly. The obvious stuff. Anonymization aims to go further. The goal is that even if you tried to combine the data with other available information, you still couldn't reasonably figure out who someone is.
Ah, okay. De-identification is stripping the labels. Anonymization is trying to make it impossible to relabel it, even indirectly.
That's a good way to put it. And we're seeing more AI tools being used now to help automate and improve de-identification, make it more robust.
Interesting. And earlier you mentioned something called federated learning. That sounded like another privacy angle.
Yes, federated learning is a really fascinating approach, particularly with AI development. It lets different organizations collaborate on research using sensitive data without ever pooling the raw data centrally.
How does that work then?
So instead of sending patient records anywhere, the AI models are trained locally at each hospital or research center using their own anonymized data.
Okay, so the data stays put.
Stays put. Then only the insights or the parameter updates learned by those local models are shared and combined centrally. This builds a smarter, collaborative model without the actual patient data ever leaving its secure home base.
Wow. So researchers can kind of pool their knowledge without pooling the actual sensitive data points. That sounds like a really significant step for privacy.
It really is. It allows for that large-scale analysis, building powerful AI tools, but with privacy built in from the ground up. It's a major tool alongside strong anonymization and de-identification for enabling all these benefits we've talked about.
Benefits like, well, improving public health, speeding up medical discoveries, getting closer to personalized medicine.
Exactly. All while keeping that commitment to privacy.
It sounds like the principle is definitely benefits without compromising privacy.
That has to be the guiding principle, yes. Now, are there challenges? Of course. Ensuring anonymization is truly robust is complex. Data context always matters.
Right. It's probably an ongoing process.
It is. But developing and using these privacy-preserving techniques like the AI de-identification tools and federated learning are absolutely crucial for doing this responsibly and ethically.
So just to kind of wrap this section up, by letting our anonymized or very carefully de-identified health data be used for research, we're all sort of contributing to this bigger pool of knowledge.
In a way, yes.
And that collective knowledge helps develop better treatments, better public health policies. It benefits everyone in the long run. Our data, handled right, helps society.
That sums it up really well. It's about harnessing that secondary use potential of EHR data ethically, with strong safeguards always in place.
Okay, so we've really seen how this careful, anonymized sharing of EHR data is, well, it's a real engine driving healthcare progress. Huge benefit.
Definitely. And it makes you think, doesn't it? As these anonymization techniques get even better, what more could we potentially unlock from EHR data for research down the line?
That's a really interesting thought. What new discoveries might be possible?
And alongside that, what are the ethical questions we'll need to keep wrestling with as this technology evolves? How do we continue to navigate that landscape responsibly?
Absolutely. Loads to think about there as things develop. Well, thank you. This has been incredibly insightful, shedding light on a really important area.
My pleasure. Good discussion.
Join us next time on The Deep Dive as we continue to navigate the evolving landscape of digital health.